We might have saved the best for last at the end of this week because we got some big names reporting right here at the end, and some are good and some aren't so good, but I know you're going to be tuning in, so I brought you both kinds of charts. So let's check it out. First one out is one of the good ones, E-Trade. They only had that one miss in 2015, but otherwise it's been beat after beat. These shares continue to rally, and I think that's because we've got a lot more volatility now in the stock market, and volatility is good for these trading firms, so they should make more money with these volatile conditions. So I gotta like what I'm seeing right now from E-Trade, and this is one of the big names on the finance side to watch this week. Then we're going to get one of the old school names, Procter & Gamble. They too only have the one miss back in 2014. So great track record, but investors have kind of soured here in 2018, as you can see. Big sell-off of the shares, but you know, we've seen this with a lot of companies, especially the big caps here in 2018. And the question is, will these stocks recover? Or are we seeing a change in this pattern of the big caps dominating? Then we're going to get one where everyone knows what's kind of going on here. GE, two misses in a row now, shares at multi-year lows. I had to go all the way back in the chart because Zacks data does go back that far. And I had to look to see when was the last time it missed before these two misses. And it was all the way back in early 2008 when everyone was missing during the Great Recession. So that's a super long streak, but as I've said in the past, just because you beat every quarter for many years doesn't mean you're always going to sustain that. It's not easy to do, and finally GE kind of lost its grip on its beat record. Now the question remains of, can it turn around the business in investors' minds enough to get those share price up? So we'll see. A lot of people be tuning in here because there's some long-term shareholders of this kind of stock, people who've owned for decades, and everybody's going to want to know what's going on with GE this quarter. Then we're going to get Honeywell. I always like showing these back to back because Honeywell, remember, was one of the industrial companies that was kicked out of the Dow Industrials. And ever since then, the shares have soared. So it hasn't been a bad deal for them. They only had that one miss in 2016, and then shares peaked here in 2018 and have fallen back a bit. Is this a buying opportunity? Or, as I was saying, are a lot of these big cap kind of growth style companies, although it's kind of hard to believe Honeywell is growth, but it is. Are these kind of companies, is this over? Is the chart signaling something else? We don't know yet, but if I was betting on a beat here, I would be putting my money on Honeywell again. And then I'm rounding it out with Schlumberger. So this is on the oil services side. They only have that one miss in 2016, despite all the chaos with the oil sector, but investors really soured on energy in 2017, and we had those new lows on these shares, bounced off of that because it was a little outrageous, and now we're down again. Some of the insiders have been buying here on Schlumberger recently, so this will be an interesting one to watch as the energy sector starts to report. Good earnings growth expected from this sector as a whole, up 60% year over year with that oil price high. But on the services side, we'll see just how good business really is. So as you can see, a lot of stocks from a lot of different sectors. I like that. That's what makes it exciting. But we are mainly getting the large caps right now with a few little smaller guys in there. We're getting a lot of the financials still. I didn't bring you those charts, but there's a lot of community banks and some of the bigger regional banks still reporting this week. So be sure to check in on Zacks.com for all the earnings updates. And you can also get excellent earnings coverage from Shiraz Mian, our Director of Research. He writes that earnings trends column every week, so be sure to check that out on Zacks.com as well. And as always, I'll be bringing you all the earnings charts this entire earnings season, so be sure to tune in.